Does anyone know what the ninth most preferred sport for women to join is? Well, my friends, it's competitive cheer. Originally, when you hear the term cheerleader, you think of a preppy schoolgirl yelling chants on the sideline of a sporting event. Today, though, cheerleaders will be found with big hair poofs, crop top outfits, glitzed up faces who are ready to compete. Cheerleaders nowadays are known to practice, perform, and compete. Cheerleading is a sport, and here are 3 reasons why. 1, competitive cheerleading has governed rules. 2, competitive cheerleading competes at all levels. And 3, competitive cheerleading has plenty of physical activity. So for my first idea, competitive cheerleading has governed rules. According to the article Catastrophic Cheerleading Injuries by Bowden, Taschetti, and Mueller, a study was done by the National Center for Catastrophic Sports Injury between the years 1982 and 2002. This study conducted that there was a total of 29 catastrophic injuries. Now, 15 of those were classified as non-fatal, which means that there was a permanent disability. 12 were serious, which means no disability. And 2, unfortunately, were fatal. Now, the way the NCCSIR defines catastrophic injury is any severe injury incurred during the participation in a school or college-sponsored sport. So because of this, rules in cheerleading have become more strict. Now, growing up in a family who eats, sleeps, and lives cheer, I know the rules like the back of my hand. My mom worked for COA, which is Cheerleaders of America, for multiple years, and it helped me understand cheer a little bit more. For each division in cheer, they are given certain rules, for instance, what's allowed to do. That could mean with stunting or tumbling. For each time they don't follow one of those rules, they get points deducted, or it could lead to a disqualification. This is why cheerleading is governed with rules. Now for my second point, cheerleading competes at all levels. Have you ever just sat down and watched ESPN for a day and randomly saw clips of cheerleaders? Well, competitive cheerleaders compete at local, national, and world levels. Now what this means is during their defined season, they start out at local competitions, which what they do is receive judges' scoring, and this helps them to perfect their routines. So when they head to national competitions, they can try and win a world's bid. Now what this world's bid is it's the world's competition, and it's held in Florida, and it's teams from all over the world, which could include China, Mexico, Australia. And what better or greater experience for athletes to experience. Pam Beatus states in her article, Short Skirts, Cheerleading, an American Invention, has 3.8 million participants in the97% of whom which are female. Seriously, holy smokes, who knew that there were that many cheerleaders in America? I am a cheerleader myself, and I had no idea that there was that many. And that is why competitive cheerleaders compete at all levels. Lastly, for my third and final point, competitive cheerleading has plenty of physical activity. A story was done by Fox News that was titled Judges' Ruling Sparks National Debate Over Cheerleading, Sport or No Sport. According to the article, Title 1X regulations, which require universities receiving federal funds to offer equal and athletic opportunities to both sexes. A sport must have coaches, practices, and competitions during a defined season. Cheerleading meets, if not exceeds, all of these expectations. Not to mention, in Waters' article, What Goes Up Must Come Down, she states that cheerleading has become a contact sport with acrobats and pyramids. If anyone disagrees that cheerleading isn't a sport, just walk into one of their practices. They typically practice every single day during the week on top of Sunday practices. You'd be amazed at how hard it is to gain a skill, whether it's tumbling cats or learning how to pull a flexible skill in the air, or even how to work with 2 others on keeping someone up in the air without having someone severely injured. It takes many different skills with each and every aspect of the routine. Just like a hockey player has to perfect his shot on goal, a cheerleader has to perfect flipping across a blue mat or catching their father so neither gets hurt. So that is my final reason as to why competitive cheerleading has plenty of physical activity. Today I explained why competitive cheerleading should be considered a sport. So the next time you try to discuss or argue that cheerleading isn't a sport, I challenge you to first clarify if you're talking about competitive cheerleading or sideline cheerleading. And then if it is competitive cheerleading, maybe ease off and try to accept that they are hardworking athletes too. So here are my 3 reasons as to why competitive cheerleading is a sport. 1, competitive cheerleading has governed rules. 2, competitive cheerleading competes at all levels. And 3, competitive cheerleading has plenty of physical activity. 1, 2, 3, 4.